friends, come on into my kitchen today while I make some goat cheese. Have you ever bought those little logs of creamy cheese to use as an appetizer or an hors d'oeuvre when you have guests coming over, especially available around Thanksgiving and Christmas? To buy these logs of goat cheese around the holidays, they can be anywhere from $9 to $12, $15. This is about an 8-ounce size, and I made this for about $2.75 and a little bit of my time. Come and see how I do that. I'm going to be making some today with store-bought goat's milk. Come on down to the countertop. To make today's recipe, you're going to need a heavy-bottomed pot, a digital thermometer, a spatula or metal spoon. You're going to need a bowl, a colander, some cheesecloth, and in this case I'm using two of these towels. I don't even know what to call them. I think they would be considered a sugar sack or a flour sack towel. I've got them at the local hardware store. It's not cheesecloth. It's a tighter weave than cheesecloth, but I'm still going to use 2 layers of this. When you make goat's milk products, the curds are not thick, not large like cow's milk. It's very fine, so you need the really fine fibers of this. I have a 1/3 cup measure. I have a 1 tablespoon, half a teaspoon. I have sea salt, lemon juice, vinegar, my goat's milk, and I bought this at a Metro store in Ontario, but look around. It's a national brand, so you should be able to find it in lots of different places. And this one was reduced 50% off, so this would have been $5.49. That brings it down half price. It was like $2.75 for this, and it's still drinkable. Today is the best before date, but I've been drinking the other carton I bought. I like goat's milk, but I don't have goats. I buy my goat's milk half price. And these cartons do bulge a little bit. They all do. Even brand new, they bulge. So it's not that it's spoiling inside, it's just the way they're packed. I'm also going to have a couple of products on hand to coat this in later. I will add these. It's not necessary, but I have dill or everything bagel seasoning, which is poppy seed, sesame seed, dehydrated onions, all of that. I also have an elastic band. I'm going to use these cloths to line my colander. If you watched my yogurt video, you know that I put my yogurt in the same setup and I put it in the refrigerator. In this case, we're going to hang it. So I'm also going to need a string. Okay, let's go over to the other counter. I got this recipe several years ago from a website called ethnicspoon.com. I will be sure to link that in the bottom so you can check out the recipe and get really detailed instructions. I have 1 quart, 1 liter of goat's milk. I'm just going to swirl that around a little to make sure I get all of the fats out of the bottle. I'm going to bring this to 185 degrees, just the same as I did with the yogurt when I made it in that video. I'll link that video above. You want to bring it to 185 and then remove it from the heat immediately. It should take about 12 minutes. You don't want to do it too fast. That can spoil your technique. So I've got it on about a medium temperature. We're starting at refrigerated temperature, so this is actually going down. It's below 50 degrees. I have about a foot of my thread here, my string here, and I'm just going to take that and tie a loop in one end. Now when I go to hang my bag of cheese, I'll just put the cord through the loop and it will hang tight just by gravity, and that will hold it securely. And then the top, I will just tie in a loose knot or a bow onto my cupboard door handle. Remember to stir the goat's milk often while you're heating it up, because that will keep it from scorching to the bottom. My milk is a little over 185. I got to 189. You may want to heat it to a little higher than 185 if you're at a higher elevation. Now I'm going to immediately add my other ingredients. I have 1/3 of a cup of lemon juice, 2 tablespoons of vinegar, Woo! And half a teaspoon of sea salt. At this point you can add herbs if you'd like to, or you can wait until it's a little set. So we're going to, I don't mind if mine has these seeds and herbs throughout. I'm going to add some in. This is dill weed, so it's the leaf. Dill weed. And I'm going to put in half a teaspoon of the everything bagel seasoning as well. Now I'm going to put a lid on that and let it sit for half an hour. Okay, my timer's gone off. This is still hot to touch, but it has been half an hour. Around the top of the pot I have milk. I have some curds, and you can see this yellow liquid is whey. So the milk products have separated. Down here in the bottom, I have some good curds. My stainless steel bowl, it could be plastic or glass, whatever, that part doesn't matter. My colander and my layers of cheesecloth or tea towel. When I first started doing this, I took an old t-shirt and I ran it through the washing machine on hot. I even I cut a section of it out, like the back of a t-shirt, and I boiled it on the stove, so it was clean and there was no dye left in it. It was bright red, but there was no dye left in it. I'm going to take my curd. You can pour this or you can ladle it. It's just a little gentler if you ladle it. It really doesn't matter. As you see when I put the spoon in there, it's all mixing together anyways. This has a little bit of an onion smell to it now, but I put that everything bagel seasoning in there, and that has dehydrated onions in it. You can put whatever flavoring in you want or no flavoring at all. I really like it with lemon zest. Okay, that's going to take a few minutes. I'm going to make sure these milk solids that are at the top of this towel as the liquid runs off, I'm going to make sure that is in the mass of the how can I say that? I'm going to scrape these milk solids down into the center of the cheese so that I don't have it spread out all over the place. As I go to hang it, it will be a little more concentrated in the middle. See, the solids are starting to really gather there now. When I make my yogurt, I save the whey and I use that for my smoothies. But this has got that onion and dill flavoring in it, so I won't be using it for smoothies. That might, unless it was a green smoothie, which I don't consume on a regular basis. If you were juicing, you could mix it with your juices for sure. You can see it looks grainy. Those are cheese curds, and the speckles are the spices. That is down low enough in there now. I can wrap that up. I think I'm going to just wrap it with one layer now that the majority of that liquid is out. I could use this way to make a cheese loaf. I could use this way to make a pizza crust, something that you don't mind that onion and dill flavoring getting into the bread. You could use it in making crackers. You could use it in making salad dressing. It's got a bit of a tang to it, a tart flavor to it, because it's made with the lemon juice and the vinegar. Okay, I'm getting tangled in this second towel. There we go. If you wanted to, You could hang that as is off of the cupboard door if you have a knob style door. I don't have a knob style, I have a D shape. So I'm going to let that go. I have my loop in my string. I'm just going to hang that, slide that tail through there. And there we go. With a bowl underneath of my dripping area, I'm going to tie this right here. I'm just going to throw a couple of what I don't know what to call them, couple of knots in there. I can cut that off later. And I'm going to slide this up here and just loop it in so it's not hanging and getting all dripped on. Okay, there we have it hanging. I've got a bowl underneath to catch it, and I'm going to let that drip for an hour. It doesn't need to be refrigerated. It can work just fine like this. I'll be back when that's done. All right, that's been hanging for an hour now, and I've come along and I did squeeze some liquid out of it. You don't want it too dry because you want that liquid to keep your cheese creamy. I recently discovered that 85% of the people who view my videos are not subscribed. I would love it if you would subscribe and stick around and see more of my videos. If you've seen me more than once or twice on your channel and you like what you see, hit that subscribe button. Ring that notification bell so you're alerted every time I post a new video. It'll come up on your YouTube home page. And share my videos with your friends and let other people discover me too. I've laid a piece of plastic wrap on my cutting board. I'm going to untie my cheese. Oh, let's get that off of there for a second so I can manage this without making a mess. Okay. See, the cheese is still stuck in some of the grooves here, so I'm going to use a spoon to just scrape them into the cluster in the middle here. This cheese can be spreadable, like you would put it on crackers or on a bagel. It's suitable to sprinkle on a salad or to use in all kinds of ways. If you wanted it creamier, you could put, at this point, mix in some half and half cream or some heavy cream, and it would bind the curds back together in a more creamy way. I don't know how else to say that. Okay, I'm going to put my plastic wrap back on that cutting board. I'm going to put my cheese onto the plastic wrap. Okay, there's not much left on there now. I will rinse these towels with cold water and put them in the wash. You want to get as much of the milk out of it as you can. This is a good time to add herbs or taste it. You could have added the herbs earlier like I did, or you could add them at this point, and salts can be added later too. Oh, I love it. This has got a flip top. This has got a flip top. I'm going to sprinkle more dill in there. That's the flavor I want to go for this time. You know what? I'm going to sprinkle in more of the onion mix too. The everything bagel mix. Okay, let's mix some of those spices I just sprinkled on top into it a little more thoroughly. I could do that in a bowl, but this is just as good. I just don't want a solid line of it. I want it sort of mingled. Doesn't have to be perfect. Okay. I'm just going to use the plastic wrap to gather this together. And once you get it mostly gathered, you can use the plastic wrap to compress it and make a roll. I want this heavily coated in dill. I'm just going to sprinkle that on the plastic wrap. You could put on walnuts, pecans, slivered almonds, cheese, lemon rind, oregano, whatever, Italian seasoning, whatever herbs you like. You can use this straight away, or you can put it in the fridge for an hour to let it firm up. It is pretty soft right now. It'll keep up to 2 weeks in the fridge. Or you would wrap it and cover it, you know, keep it in an airtight container. I'm going to spread some on my, whoops, I'm going to make a mess apparently. And just spread it on some crackers. I really love this with lemon in it, but not everybody enjoys lemon peel. I do quite a lot. And the dog knows what I'm doing. As soon as she smells cheese of any kind, she's all over it. She's standing here right beside my feet. And there we go, goat cheese with dill. It's called Chevre, C-H-E-V-R-E. In French that means goat. So it's basically goat cheese, soft goat cheese. I'll put a link to the website down below, and you can give it a try. Thanks for hanging out today. I'll see you next time.